Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Brickwork Ratings, yet another podcast series. Today we have a very special guest with us. There's no need to introduce him. He's none other than Ajay Chaudhary, Director of Finance with REC Limited. We'll be knowing a lot of insights on power sector, how things are happening with the discoms, with Gencos, and a lot more insights from him. A brief warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Ria. Thank you for having me.
Sir, we'll start the session with talking about the sector itself, and we'd like to understand post-pandemic how is the sector doing, and how is specifically the power demand.
Power sector, I think, is one of the sectors that have not been so much impacted by the pandemic. Initially, of course, there were a few, hiccups, and the demand fell. But subsequently, we see that the demand picked up quite soon. And on 22nd of January, the demand hit an all-time high of 187.5 gigawatt. So as far as demand is concerned, there's nothing much to worry about. And of course, in the winning period when the demand fell, the government came out with the Atmanirbhar scheme to help out the distribution companies.
So this brings me to the question: what are your views on the package which the government has announced, specifically, to improvise the financial situation of the discoms?
Yeah. So the Atmanirbhar scheme which the government announced was a timely intervention because a lot of dues had accumulated, some due to COVID and some even before. So the government, the Ministry of Power thought that some sort of relief has to be given so that the money flows to the generator and transmission companies. But this scheme is not without conditionalities. There were conditions imposed on the DISCOM for improvement. For example, they will have to now, henceforth, the state will have to clear all their subsidy dues. The government department dues will have to be cleared. And these loans are also backed by state government. Apart from that, they have to provide a roadmap for reduction in AT&C loss and ACS ARR gap. So this scheme was a timely intervention, and we hope that things should be looking up for discoms to some extent with this scheme.
Sir, it's a good insight that government has always been there to support the discoms as well as the gencos. So this makes me ask you this one more question: what are the exact challenges that these power companies, be it discoms, be it gencos, what exactly are the challenges that they are facing?
The gencos and transmission companies are facing the challenge of receivables from the distribution companies. The distribution companies are the cash cows of the entire power sector. They collect the money ultimately from the consumer, and then it flows to the generator, transmission company, lenders, and everybody else. Now, for the distribution company, the challenge is really manifold. One is, of course, the operational inefficiencies that have kept in. And we also see that, the richer the state, the better in terms of operational efficiency the states are. Gujarat, Maharashtra, Punjab, Haryana, they are Tamil Nadu. They are quite good with the operational efficiency. But if you see the states like UP and Bihar, the poorer states, Rajasthan, they have higher operational efficiency. So that is one aspect that needs to be addressed. The other challenge is, of course, the tariff revision, which doesn't happen regularly. So this is one thing that the states will have to take care of. The states are the promoters for these distribution companies, and they'll have to see that regular tariff revision as the situation demand should happen.
Sir, will setting up the DFI solve the funding issues that these power companies are facing?
So DFIs are, they provide critical support, financing support to the infrastructure, infrastructure projects where, the terms are not exactly conformed to the market standard. So they are long-term lending at concessional kind of rates at lower rates, so that the infrastructure development can take place. Now, in power sector, the REC and PFC, they are working for a very long time, and they have a very good idea about the sector. They know the environment, they know the players, all in all. So I think instead of having a DFI, if the government can support these two companies by way of certain regulatory dispensations or by way of some capital infusion, then things can work out very well. A new DFI may take time to understand the entire sector, and so I think it would be better if these two companies are more empowered.
Great. Sir, also one more thing which I would like to understand is the renewable energy generation set target. Do you think that is achievable?
They are achievable, but some delay may happen, not only because of the COVID, but we have seen certain contractual disputes and land acquisition issues. So there can be some delay, but they are definitely achievable given that we see a lot of interest from some of the very big players with deep pockets, including NTPC. Now they are coming into this renewable sector. So, and the tariff, you can see is going down every day. Now the tariff, renewable sector tariff, which was last quarter was at ₹2 per unit. So definitely this is achievable. There is a lot of interest in the market, and yes, but only thing is it's a matter of time, a little bit of time.
So what according to you you think is the course of achievement could be? Would it be solar? Would it be wind? What do you think could it be?
So solar has greater coverage, in terms of area, and wind has smaller coverage because generally wind energy is available in either the western part of the country or near the seashores. So not everywhere you can put the wind farms. So the solar energy has greater coverage. So solar energy will definitely be a little more in demand to meet this target. But don't forget hydro. Hydro
Yes.
is also making a comeback. After government has announced that it is even the large hydro will be a part of renewable energy, and hydro is great for grid stability. When you have more of renewable in terms of solar and wind, the stability of the grid will come into question, and then the hydro can provide the required support. So hydro, I think, will make a comeback in some big way.
Great. So one more thing, how do you see the NPA situation of the stressed, power projects?
Yes. So we are able to resolve NPAs. In the last 2 years, we resolved NPAs of close to 6,000 crores, and around 5,000 crores of NPA should get resolved in next fiscal. But the pace of resolution is something that is not entirely to our liking. And with the falling renewable tariff, things are becoming difficult because there are projects which are standing on the ground, but no PPA. So the power purchase, we are not able to find the buyers. I think it will all depend on the kind of growth that happens in the economy. With increased growth, there will be more requirement of power, and then these assets will get resolved more quickly. But for now, the resolutions are happening, albeit a little slower.
Great. Sir, one question, like the previous thing which you mentioned earlier, that you see a lot of projects happening around, and plus when we spoke about the power companies, how are they doing and how is government supporting, you spoke about REC and PFC to be empowered. So we had recently seen, not very long back, but REC has been very good in terms of raising funds even abroad.
Right.
to fix up these projects, to fund up these projects.
Right.
Any more such plans, or do you think the domestic market is conducive at this moment?
Yeah. So our fund requirement is quite large. We borrow around almost 1 lakh crores
Right.
in a year, and similar amount is borrowed by PFC. So we can't depend on one single market. So domestic market, domestic loan market, domestic bond market, and then we have the overseas loan market and the overseas bond market. So generally, we for overseas borrowing, we have to take the permission of RBI, and currently RBI gives us around permission for $2 billion. So around 15,000 crores will come from overseas borrowing, and the rest from domestic sources. Largely, our 60% of our borrowings come from the domestic bond market.
All right. Because, sir, recently compared to the peers, we have seen REC doing really well in terms of getting a good coupon rate, even from abroad, even in the domestic market. In fact, REC has been taken up as a benchmark when the other, PSUs look out for yields and how the market is doing. So, which is why if REC is having more plans, basically there would be other peers also looking up to you and how the market could be. So it's
Right,
like
right.
REC giving a direction to the market.
Right. So this year we have already once gone to the bonds market, and we have also raised a loan at quite a competitive rate
Right.
from overseas ECB loans. So we have raised close to 1 billion to this year. We will raise, we have the RBI approval till I think July. So we will raise another 1 billion by that time. So yes, the investors have shown great confidence in REC. So we have been able to raise money.
So before letting you go or closing this session, we would like to ask you one last question. What are the lessons which the power sector in whole would have learned from this pandemic, and how do you see the roadmap going ahead?
Yes. Madam, pandemic is one thing that hasn't so much impacted the power sector, but it did impact other sectors quite well, quite badly. And the challenges for the power companies, I believe, is the transformation that is happening. The renewable coming in a big way, the technological changes that are happening, conventional energy, giving way. So storage technology will soon be making its way. So how these power companies can adopt to these challenges, that's really the core thing about the power sector going forward.
So, what is the roadmap going at? Since you spoke about renewable energy targets being achievable, in fact, we are likely to see good measures coming in, maybe to help out the state discoms. So maybe going forward, we can say a year or so down the line, how do you see? Do you see this discoms issue and other issues, whatever the challenges you specify? Mentioned out, do you see all those getting out of the obstacle line?
Yeah. So the roadmap, if you say, the government had set initially a target for village electrification, house electrification, and improved generation capacity. So all this have been achieved. Now, the government is focusing on the distribution sector, revamp this distribution sector. So the roadmap for power companies and the government is really to set better systems in place, more operational efficiency, lower tariffs for the customers. All these things, will be the key for the power companies in times to come. Of course, the technology will come in a big way, and that is also something to get up. So there also, the roadmap has to be framed for, how do we adopt to those technological changes.
Great. So thank you so much for the detailed insights that you shared. It was lovely talking to you, and we hope that we could definitely see each other in person as well as connect for more such insights.
Thank you, Ria. Thank you.